Good morning. So, we will be doing reading comprehension, long passages. The other day also we stopped at practicing reading comprehension. I will be again practicing long passages with you, something that is extremely important for all your competitive exams, and this will be followed by an extensive session on developing vocabulary skills. So, I have been telling you that we are going to do verbal analogy soon. So, soon we will be doing right after this session we will be starting with that other one also. So, please be attentive and please look at the slides and pay full attention to that. So, you should also know that when we do reading comprehension type of questions, then they are typically full of factual information. The questions also generally ask repetition of what is already provided in the passage that you are going to look at, and then what is basically tested here is your ability to answer to the point and not your skill or your written skills or your analytical skills. Remember, long passages are easier to read and comprehend. There is no need for analysis. Now, let us begin with looking at the first passage. Look at the slide. The true regency lasted only 9 years. It began on 5th February 1811 when George, Prince of Wales, was officially sworn in as regent, and ended on 31st January 1820 when he was proclaimed King George IV. Yet the term regency is frequently used to describe the period of English history between the years 1780 and 1830, because the society and culture during these years were undeniably marked by the influence of the man who would become George IV. With the final years of the Napoleonic Wars and the enormous impact of the industrialization, the Regency was an era of change and unrest, as well as one of glittering social occasions, celebrations, and extraordinary achievement in art and literature. Artists such as Thomas Lawrence, John Constable, and Joseph Turner created iconic paintings which today constitute a tangible record of some of the people and places of the period, while many of England's greatest writers produced some of their most enduring works during the Regency. The writings of Jane Austen, Walter Scott, John Keats, Mary Shelley, Samuel Coleridge, William Wordsworth, Lord Byron, and Percy Bysshe Shelley continued to stand as a testament to the romance, color, and vitality of the times. In many ways, the Regency period was also a reflection of the character and personality of the Prince Regent himself, who was one of the most flamboyant and cultured of all English monarchs. His passion for art, architecture, music, literature, and hedonistic living set the tone for the era and caused the Regency to be forever linked with the high living Mayfly class that was the turn. The Regency world was highly structured, and the conventions attached to Regency life were so numerous and intricate that usually only those born and bred into upper class circles knew and understood them. Above all, it was intensely class conscious. The turn, from the French phrase le bon ton, meaning in the fashionable mode and also known as polite society or the upper 10,000, lived a privileged self-indulgent life. Birth and family were vital to social acceptance, and social behavior was determined by a complex set of rules of varying flexibility with different codes of behavior for men and women. It was an era of manners, fashion, and propriety, and yet for the upper class it was also a time of extraordinary excess, extravagance, and indulgence. By contrast, the middle class was more interested in morality than manners and often found it difficult to follow the distinctive behavior of the upper class. During the Regency, the nobility was made up of members of the royal family, peers above the rank of baronet and their families, statesmen and the prelates of the Church of England, such as the more powerful bishops and the Archbishop of Canterbury, who took precedence over all ranks after the royal family. The gentry included baronets, knights, country landowners, often incredibly wealthy, and gentlemen of property and good birth but no title. Apart from manners and breeding, one of the main distinguishing factors between the upper class and the upper levels of the middle class was the need for the latter to actually earn their living. Look at the questions here. When did the true Regency begin? What was the duration of the Regency era? Who was referred to as regent? Name two influential events that occurred during the Regency. Who were the notable Regency authors? Give 3 examples. What was the Regency upper class called? Who had to work for a livelihood? Who was the topmost at the class hierarchy of the Regency, even above the nobility? Look at the slides. Look at the questions once more. And look at the answers now. Officially, we mark it as 5th February 1811. It lasted for 9 years, associated with George, Prince of Wales. 2 major events, the Napoleonic War and the Industrial Revolution. Major names, Jane Austen, Mary Shelley and John Keats. This is the French term, le bon ton. The Regency middle class, they were supposed to earn their livelihood, and the Archbishop of Canterbury was one of the most influential, powerful, topmost at class hierarchy of the Regency, sometimes even above the nobility. So, this is Archbishop of Canterbury. Let us look at the second passage now. Now, before we do this, remember there must have been a number of difficult words in the passage, in the previous passage. Please start marking and start practicing on your own. So, words like hedonistic, le bon ton. So, what do these mean? You are expected to now be very proficient with dictionary skills. Please keep looking up all these words, how words are formed, as well as the opposites of these words. Let us look at passage 2. Even as a child, growing up in the Sylhet region of Bangladesh, the ancestral home of around 80% of British curry chefs, Khan had understood that curry houses were an unshakable part of the British way of life. By the late 1990s, curry had come to represent a new cosmopolitan Britain, culminating in the former Foreign Secretary Robin Cook's famous 2001 speech citing chicken tikka masala as the national dish of Britain, an example of the way that the curry absorbs and adapts external influences. Though hardly acknowledged by restaurant critics, except for mocking asides about their red flock wallpaper, curry houses were one of the great successes of the post-war restaurant industry in Britain. In her 2005 book Curry, a Biography, the historian Lizzie Collingham argued that the Sylheti curry cooks converted unadventurous British palates to a new flavor spectrum. Goodbye mince and potatoes, hello chicken bona, More than any other ethnic food, Collingham Road, the British have made curry their own across the country. In any town big enough, you could guarantee that there would be at least one kismat or equivalent set up by enterprising Bangladeshi or Pakistani families. In high streets dominated by chains from Harvester to Pizza Express, these were rare independent traders, and they played a role in the regeneration of many local economies in the 1980s and 90s. In the past decade, according to a trade group, Britain's curry houses employed 100,000 people and generated annual sales of 4.2 billion pounds. Now, however, the curry houses once, it shouldn't be as an apostrophe, it's a plural, please make a correction. The curry house's once unassailable place in British life looks precarious. Thousands of Indian restaurants are critically short of both staff to cook the food and customers to eat it. Across the industry, 2 or 3 curry houses are closing down a week. This is a crisis with many causes, the effects of which extend far beyond curry. Since the Brexit vote and the subsequent collapse of the pound, independent food outlets of all kinds have been hurt by rises in rents, rates and food prices. Meanwhile, in families that run curry houses, younger generations have moved away from catering to more lucrative jobs in medicine or tech. So long as there was a ready supply of new onion choppers from Asia, the exodus of upwardly mobile offspring did not affect curry houses too much. The real blow came when a harsh new politics of immigration came in, which made it harder for skilled South Asian chefs to work in the country, just as the wider British public were changing the ways in which they consumed curry. Curry is still the soul food of the UK, the bowl of warmth that people turn to when sniffy, sloshed or merely peckish. But curry houses owners have watched as dishes once unique to their restaurants were sold in cheapened form, from supermarket ready meals, an Indian banquet for 2 for only £9 to the £6 Thursday curry nights offered by Wetherspoon pubs, which by 2016 was the biggest seller of curry in the UK. Another source of competition were the curries people had started to make for themselves at home, evidenced by rising sales of fresh ginger, chilies and exotic vegetables, the market for which leapt 22% to reach £215 million in 2005. For a few decades from the 1970s to the 2000s, the curry house, like its high street companion the pub, looked like a permanent feature of British life, maybe even an emblem of Britishness itself. Yet, it is now clear that our passionate relationship with these restaurants was the product of particular circumstances. For the high street curry house to flourish in its classical form, British tastes needed to stay fixed and South Asian cooks needed to be free to work here. Neither of these conditions now holds. Look at the questions here. Where did Khan grow up? What was referred to as the national dish of Britain? Where was red flock wallpaper found? What did chicken bhuna replace? Which restaurant chain was a guarantee in any English town? Give 2 reasons to explain the decline of curry houses. Why are there rising ginger sales? What had the most negative impact on the curry business? Khan grew up in the Sylhet region of Bangladesh, and then chicken tikka masala. This was one representative curry dish. Curry houses to be found everywhere, and they replaced mince and potatoes. Which restaurant chain was a guarantee in an English town? Kismat. the reason for the decline is staff shortages and the recent fall of the pound. Answer to the seventh question, because people are increasingly cooking curry at home, therefore rise in the sale of ginger and curry leaves, etc. And then the final blow is new anti-immigrant policies. Let us move on to the third passage. There is something about the experience of consuming sugar and sweets, particularly during childhood, that readily invokes the comparison to a drug. I have children still relatively young, and I believe raising them would be a far easier job if sugar and sweets were not an option, if managing their sugar consumption did not seem to be a constant theme in our parental responsibilities. Even those who vigorously defend the place of sugar and sweets in modern diets, an innocent moment of pleasure, a balm amid the stress of life, as the journalist Tim Richardson has written, acknowledge that this does not include allowing children to eat as many sweets as they want at any time, and that most parents will want to ration their children's sweets. But why is this rationing necessary? Children crave many things: Pokemon cards, Star Wars paraphernalia, Dora the Explorer backpacks, and many foods taste good to them. What is it about sweets that makes them so uniquely in need of rationing? This is of more than academic interest, because the response of entire populations to sugar has been effectively identical to that of children. Once people are exposed, they consume as much sugar as they can easily procure. The primary barrier to more consumption, up to the point where populations become obese and diabetic, has tended to be availability and price. As the price of a pound of sugar has dropped over the centuries, the amount of sugar consumed has steadily, inexorably climbed. In 1934, while sales of sweets continued to increase during the Great Depression, the New York Times commented, "The Depression has proved that people wanted candy, and that as long as they had any money at all, they would buy it." During those brief periods of time during which sugar production surpassed our ability to consume it, the sugar industry and purveyors of sugar-rich products have worked diligently to increase demand, and at least until recently, have succeeded. The critical question, as the journalist and historian Charles C. Mann has elegantly put it, is whether sugar is actually an addictive substance, or if people just act like it is. This question is not easy to answer. Certainly, people and populations have acted as though sugar is addictive, but science provides no definitive evidence. Until recently, nutritionists studying sugar did so from the natural perspective of viewing it as a nutrient, a carbohydrate, and nothing more. They occasionally argued about whether or not it might play a role in diabetes or heart disease, but not about whether it triggered a response in the brain or body that made us want to consume it in excess. That was not their area of interest. The few neurologists and psychologists interested in probing the sweet tooth phenomenon, or why we might need to ration our sugar consumption so as not to eat too much of it, did so typically from the perspective of how these sugars compared with other drugs of abuse, in which the mechanism of addiction is now relatively well understood. Lately, this comparison has received more attention as the public health community has looked to ration our sugar consumption as a population, and has thus considered the possibility that one way to regulate these sugars, as with cigarettes, is to establish that they are indeed addictive. These sugars are very probably unique in that they are both a nutrient and a psychoactive substance with some addictive characteristics. Historians have often considered the sugar as a drug metaphor to be an apt one. that sugars, particularly high refined sucrose, produce peculiar physiological effects is well known, wrote Sidney Mintz, whose 1985 book Sweetness and Power is one of two seminal English language histories of sugar. But these effects are neither as visible nor as long lasting as those of alcohol or caffeinated drinks, the first use of which can trigger rapid changes in respiration, heartbeat, skin color and so on. Mintz has argued that a primary reason sugar has escaped social disapproval is that whatever conspicuous behavioral changes may occur when infants consume sugar, it did not cause the kind of flushing, staggering, dizziness, euphoria, changes in the pitch of the voice, slurring of speech, visibly intensified physical activity or any of the other cues associated with the ingestion of other drugs. Sugar appears to cause pleasure with a price that is difficult to discern immediately and paid in full only years or decades later. With no visible, directly noticeable consequences, as Mintz says, questions of long term nutritive or medical consequences went unasked and unanswered. Most of us today will never know if we suffer even subtle withdrawal symptoms from sugar, because we will never go long enough without it to find out. Questions now. What is a regular part of parent responsibility? Name two things children commonly desire. What is the trait adults and children share according to the author? What are the most visible barriers to consumption of sugar? What question does the author say is difficult to answer? Why is sugar a unique food item? Why will we never know if sugar can be addictive? Why does sugar not face the social disapproval most other drugs do? And here are your answers. Parents face this challenge, managing one's children's sugar consumption. And some things which are as addictive could be Pokemon cards and Dora the Explorer backpacks. Answer to the third one, both children and adults once exposed to sugar consume as much sugar as they can easily get. Answer to fourth question, availability and price. And this is something that needs to be discussed. Is sugar actually an addictive substance, or do people just believe it is? Sugar can be both a nutrient and an addictive substance. Answer to the sixth question, and answer to the seventh one, because we will never go along enough without sugar to realize if we are addicted. And the last one, because it is the long term and questions of addiction, because consumption of sugar does not result in the common symptoms of drug and intake like dizziness, slurring of speech, etc. Therefore, it is not possible to look at the short term impact of sugar intake. Let us move on to the fourth passage now. Until recently, the thought that there might even be a cure for aging seemed preposterous. Growing older and more decrepit appeared to be an inevitable and necessary part of being human. Over the last decade, however, scientists have begun to see aging differently. Some now believe that the average life expectancy may soon be pushed up to 160 years. Others think that it may be extended to 200 or 300 years. A handful even wonder whether we might one day live for a millennium or more. Behind this new excitement is the theory that the primary cause of aging lies in highly reactive molecules called free radicals left behind by the oxygen we breathe. Free radicals react with the molecules in our bodies, damaging DNA, proteins and other cell tissues, and are known to be implicated in diseases as diverse as cataracts, cancer and Alzheimer's. The body does its best to protect itself against free radicals by producing its own chemicals to prevent aging, such as vitamin E and C, but it is always fighting a losing battle. A year ago, Gordon Lithgow of the University of Manchester discovered a way to help combat free radicals. using one of these anti-aging chemicals, he managed to increase the lifespan of one species of earthworm by 50%. Despite cautionary words from the scientists, many welcome this as the first step towards a drug which would extend life. Research involving the mutation of genes has also thrown up fascinating results. After identifying two of the genes that appear to control how long the earthworm lives, similar genes were found in organisms as various as fruit flies, mice, and human beings. When one considers the vast evolutionary distances that separate these species, it suggests that we may have discovered a key to how aging is regulated throughout the entire animal kingdom. In June last year, a small American company called Eukaryon sought permission to carry out the first trials of an anti-aging drug, SCS, on human beings. Although it will initially be used to treat diseases associated with old age, Eukaryon said that if the effect of treating diseases of old age is to extend life, everyone is going to be happy. Some scientists, however, are quick to discourage extravagant speculation. There is no evidence whatsoever that swallowing any chemical would have an effect on mammals, says Rich Miller of the University of Michigan. And those people who claim it might need to go out and do some experimenting. Some research, moreover, has produced alarming results. As well as controlling aging, these genes also partly control the hormones which regulate growth. The upshot of this is that although the lives of mutant mice can be extended by up to 80%, they remain smaller than normal. Quite apart from these sorts of horrors, the ethical implications of extending human lifespan are likely to worry many people. Even if the falling birth rates reported in the world's developed nations were to be repeated throughout the world, would this be sufficient to compensate for massively extended life expectancy, and would we be willing to see the demographic balance of our society change out of all recognition? David James, the head of the Center for Research into Aging at University College London, is enthusiastic about the opportunities opened up by extended life, but even he observes if people live much longer, the proportion of children would of course be very small. It strikes me that it might feel rather claustrophobic, all those middle-aged people and very few children or young people. The philosopher John Polkinghorne emphasizes that any discussion of the merits of life-extending therapies must take into account the quality of life that is lived. One would not wish to prolong life beyond the point it had ceased to be creative and fulfilling and meaningful, he says. Presumably, there would have to come a point at which life ceased to be creative and became just repetition. Clearly, there are only so many rounds of golf one would want to play. But Polkinghorne, a member of the Human Genetics Commission, also observes that so far our experience of extended life expectancy has not resulted in world weariness. Throughout the last century, life expectancy rose consistently thanks to improved diet, better hygiene, continuous medical innovation, and the provision of free or subsidized health care. In 1952, the Queen sent out 225 telegrams to people on their 100th birthday. In 1996, she sent out 5,218. Consider also the lives of our Roman and Anglo-Saxon ancestors, he says. By and large, the doubling of human lifespan we have seen since then has not been a bad thing. Life has not become frustrating and boring. For example, we now live to see our children's children, and this is good. Here are some questions. scientific predictions about how much it will be possible to lengthen human life vary greatly. So, you have to give yes if the statement agrees with the views of the writer and no if the statement contradicts what the writer thinks, and not given if we cannot really answer. Research into extending life, that is the second question, involves both new drugs and changes to genes. Scientific experiments have not succeeded in making any animals live longer. Most people in the future will decide not to have children. Life expectancy has improved partly because people eat better. Next section, you have to match the column. A. Increases in longevity may cause unwelcome changes in society. B. People will live longer but become tired of life. C. Past experience shows that people do not lose interest in life as a result of living longer. D. There is no scientific proof that any drug can prolong human life expectancy. E. One medicine we are developing may have a welcome benefit apart from its original purpose. F. Using drugs to treat the diseases of old age is only the beginning, and these are the names to match: Eucarian, Rich Miller, David James, John Polkinghorne. And then question number 10, which two of the following are characteristics of free radicals? Choose two letters A to E. They are partial cause of certain diseases, they escape into the atmosphere when we breathe. C. They are present in two vitamins, they harm our body chemistry, they are produced by our bodies. And now fill in the blanks here. In one experiment using anti-aging chemicals, the lives of dash was extended by half. Dash, like the ones which control the aging process in these animals, have also been found in other species. Unfortunately, however, experiments on dash have been less successful. While they live longer, the controlling their growth are also affected, with the result that they grow less. Answers are chemicals, earthworms, fruit flies, genes, hormones, human beings, mice, organisms. Here are the answers, please match them. Let us move on to the next passage now. In the last decade, a revolution has occurred in the way that scientists think about the brain. We now know that the decisions humans make can be traced to the firing patterns of neurons in specific parts of the brain. These discoveries have led to the field known as neuroeconomics, which studies the brain's secret to success in an economic environment that demands innovation and being able to do things differently from competitors. A brain can do this is an iconoclastic one. Briefly, an iconoclast is a person who does something that others say can't be done. This definition implies that iconoclasts are different from other people, but more precisely it is their brains that are different in three distinct ways: perception, fear response, and social intelligence. Each of these three functions utilizes a different circuit in the brain. Naysayers might suggest that the brain is irrelevant, that thinking in an original, even revolutionary way is more a matter of personality than brain function. But the field of neuroeconomics was born out of the realization that the physical workings of the brain place limitations on the way we make decisions. By understanding these constraints, we begin to understand why some people march to a different drum beat. The first thing to realize is that the brain suffers from limited resources. It has a fixed energy budget about the same as a 40-watt light bulb. So, it has evolved to look as efficiently as possible. This is where most people are impeded from being an iconoclast. For example, when confronted with information streaming from the eyes, the brain will interpret this information in the quickest way possible. Thus, it will draw on both past experience and any other source of information such as what other people say, to make sense of what it is seeing. This happens all the time. The brain takes shortcuts that work so well, we are hardly ever aware of them. We think our perceptions of the world are real, but they are only biological and electrical rumblings. Perception is not simply a product of what your eyes or ears transmit to your brain. More than the physical reality of photons or sound waves, perception is a product of the brain. Perception is central to iconoclasm. Iconoclasts see things differently to other people. Their brains do not fall into efficiency pitfalls as much as the average person's brain. Iconoclasts either because they were born that way or through learning have found ways to work around the perceptual shortcuts that plague most people. Perception is not something that is hardwired into the brain. It is a learned process which is both a curse and an opportunity for change. The brain faces the fundamental problem of interpreting physical stimuli from the senses. Everything the brain sees, hears, or touches has multiplied interpretations. The one that is ultimately chosen is simply the brain's best theory. In technical terms, these conjectures have their basis in the statistical likelihood of one interpretation over another and are heavily influenced by past experience and, importantly, for potential iconoclasts, what other people say. The best way to see things differently to other people is to bombard the brain with things it has never encountered before. Novelty releases the perceptual process from the chains of past experience and forces the brain to make new judgments. Successful iconoclasts have an extraordinary willingness to be exposed to what is fresh and different. Observation of iconoclasts shows that they embrace novelty while most people avoid things that are different. The problems with novelty, however, is that it tends to trigger the brain's fear system. Fear is a major impediment to thinking like an iconoclast and it stops the average person in his tracks. There are many types of fear, but the two that inhibit iconoclastic thinking and people generally find difficult to deal with are fear of uncertainty and fear of public ridicule. These may seem like trivial phobias, but fear of public speaking, which everyone must do from time to time, afflicts 1/3 of the population. This makes it too common to be considered a mental disorder. It is only a common variant of human nature, one which iconoclasts do not let inhibit their reactions. Finally, to be successful iconoclasts, individuals must sell their ideas to other people. This is where social intelligence comes in. Social intelligence is the ability to understand and manage people in a business setting. In the last decade, there has been an explosion of knowledge about the social brain and how the brain works when groups coordinate decision making. Neuroscience has revealed which brain circuits are responsible for functions like understanding what other people think, empathy, fairness, and social identity. These brain regions play key roles in whether people convince others of their ideas. Perception is important in social cognition too. The perception of someone's enthusiasm or reputation can make or break a deal. Understanding how perception becomes intertwined with social decision making shows why successful iconoclasts are so rare. Iconoclasts create new opportunities in every area, from artistic expression to technology to business. They supply creativity and innovation not easily accomplished by committees. Rules aren't important to them. Iconoclasts face alienation and failure, but can also be a major asset to any organization. It is crucial for success in any field to understand how the iconoclastic mind works. Let's look at the questions now. choose the correct letter. Neuroeconomics is a field of study which seeks to A. Cause a change in how scientists understand brain chemistry, B. Understand how good decisions are made in the brain. Please mark your answers. Understand how the brain is linked to achievement in competitive fields. D. Trace the specific firing patterns of neurons in different areas of the brain. Second question, according to the writer, iconoclasts are distinctive because they create unusual brain circuits. Their brains function differently. C. Their personalities are distinctive. D. They make decisions easily. Question 3. According to the writer, the brain works efficiently because A. It uses the eyes quickly. B. It interprets data logically. C. It generates its own energy. D. It relies on previous events. Question 4. The writer says that perception is A. A combination of photons and sound waves. B. A reliable product of what your senses transmit. C. A result of brain processes. D. A process we are usually conscious of. Fifth, according to the writer, an iconoclastic thinker A. centralizes perceptual thinking in one part of the brain. B. Avoids cognitive traps. C. Has a brain that is hardwired for learning. D. Has more opportunities than the average person. Let us move on to look at questions 6 to 11. And as we did in the previous section, yes if the statement agrees with the claims of the writer, no if the statement contradicts the claims of the writer, and not given if it is impossible to say what the writer thinks about this. So, exposure to different events forces the brain to think differently. Iconoclasts are unusually receptive to new experiences. Most people are too shy to try different things. 9. If you think in an iconoclastic way, you can easily overcome fear. 10. When concern about embarrassment matters less, other fears become irrelevant. 11. Fear of public speaking is a psychological illness. Let us move on to the next section. Complete each sentence with the correct ending A to E. This requires both perceptual and social intelligence skills. B. Focuses on how groups decide on an action. C. Works in many fields, both artistic and scientific. D. Leaves one open to criticism and rejection. And E. Involves understanding how organizations manage people. And here are your answers. Thinking like a successful iconoclast is demanding because the concept of the social brain is useful to iconoclasts because iconoclasts are generally an asset because their way of thinking. So, complete these with the above ones, and here are your answers. Please match your answers. Let us move on to the sixth passage now. Every autumn, when recruitment of new graduates and school leavers begins, major cities in Japan are flooded with students hunting for a job. Wearing suits for the first time, they run from one interview to another. The season is crucial for many students as their whole lives may be determined during this period. In Japan, lifetime employment is commonly practiced by large companies, while people working in small companies and those working for subcontractors do not in general enjoy the advantages conferred by the large companies. There is a general expectation that employees will in fact remain one or more or less permanently in the same job. Unlike in many Western countries where companies employ people whose skills can be effective immediately, Japanese companies select applicants with potential who can be trained to become suitable employees. For this reason, recruiting employees is an important exercise for companies as they invest a lot of time and money in training new staff. This is basically true both for factory workers and for professionals. Professionals who have studied subjects which are of immediate use in the workplace, such as industrial engineers, are very often placed in factories and transferred from one section to another. By gaining experience in several different areas and by working in close contact with workers, the engineers are believed in the long run to become more effective members of the company. Workers too feel more involved by working with professionals and by being allowed to voice their opinions. Loyalty is believed to be cultivated in this type of egalitarian working environment. Because of this system of training employees to be all-rounders, mobility between companies is low. Wages are set according to educational background or initial field of employment, ordinary graduates being employed in administration, engineers in engineering and design departments, and so on. Both promotions and wage increases tend to be tied to seniority, though some differences may arrive later on as a result of ability and business performance. Wages are paid monthly, and the net sum after the deduction of tax is usually paid directly into a bank account. As well as salary, a bonus is usually paid twice a year. This is a custom that dates back to the time when employers gave special allowances so that employees could properly celebrate Bon, a Buddhist festival held in mid-July in Tokyo, but on other dates in other regions. The festival is held to appease the souls of ancestors. The second bonus is distributed at New Year. Recently, bonuses have also been offered as a way of allowing workers a share in the profits that their hard work has gained. Many female graduates complain that they are not given equal training and equal opportunity in comparison to male graduates. Japanese companies generally believe that female employees will eventually leave to get married and have children. It is also true that, as well as the still existing belief among women themselves that nothing should stand in the way of child rearing, the extended hours of work often do not allow women to continue their careers after marriage. Disappointed career-minded female graduates often opt to work for foreign firms. Since most male graduates prefer to join Japanese firms with their guaranteed security, foreign firms are often keen to employ female graduates as their potential tends to be greater than that of male applicants. Some men, however, do leave their companies in spite of future prospects, one reason being to take over the family business. The eldest sons in families that own family companies or businesses such as stores are normally expected to take over the business when their parents retire. It is therefore quite common to see a businessman succeeding to his parents' business completely change his professional direction by becoming, for example, a shopkeeper. On the job, working relationships tend to be very close because of the long hours of work and years of service in common. Social life, in fact, is frequently based on the workplace. Restaurants and nomiya pubs are always crowded at night with people enjoying an evening out with their colleagues. Many companies organize trips and sports days for their employees. Senior staff often play the role of mentor. This may mean becoming involved in the lives of junior staff in such things as marriage and the children's education. The average age of retirement is between 55 and 60. For most Westerners, retirement may be an eagerly awaited time to undertake such things as travel and hobbies. Many Japanese, however, simply cannot get used to the freedom of retirement and they look for ways of constructively using their time. Many look for new jobs, feeling that they do not work, that if they do not work, they will be abandoned by society. This has recently led to the development in some municipalities of municipal job centers, which advertise casual work such as cleaning and lawn mowing. Given that Japan is facing the problem of an increasingly aging society, such activities may be vital in the future. Let us look at the questions here. Choose the correct heading for each paragraph. how new employees are used in a company. 2. Women in Japanese companies, why men sometimes resign from Japanese companies. Permanency in employment in Japan, recruiting season, who, when and where. Number 6, the social aspect of work. 7, the salary structure. 8, the recruitment strategy of foreign firms. And 9, Japanese people after retirement. And let us move on to the next set of questions. Fill in the blanks. Japanese, or complete the sentences. Japanese employers believe that moving professionals within companies and listening to workers' views leads to. Employees receive their wages monthly and a bonus. Number 12, Japanese workers often form close personal relationships and older staff may even become a dash to junior staff. From questions 13 to 15, choose the correct letter A, B, C, D. So, company training in Japan is not important, is for factory workers only, is for professionals only, is for all staff. 14, foreign firms are keen to employ Japanese women because the women are more intelligent than men. The women that apply are more capable than the men that apply. The women will be only short term employees. D, the women prefer guaranteed security. 15, Japanese people continue to work after retirement because they need the income, they miss working, they assist in the family business, they have no status outside employment. Here are your answers, please tally. Alright, thank you very much, and in our next class we are going to do an extensive look at developing vocabulary skills. All the best.